Hello everyone. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and tonight on Facebook Live or the replay, whichever one you are watching, we are going to talk all about holiday themed sensory bins and how to sneak in tons of math and literacy various ways. So what I'm going to show you is a regular sensory bin, and then I'm going to show you how to sneak in some extra math or literacy. And I have 6 sensory bins to show you. All right, so before I get started, I want to tell you what is at the top. All the links are at the top, the links to my sensory bin posts on my blog. So if you want to see any of these, or I even have more holiday around the world themed sensory bins, one for Ramadan and just tons of them. I even have more Christmas ones, and yeah, so all of those are on the blog. So that link is at the very, very top. And then links to all the other things like my TPT store and all of that. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite holiday sensory bin to do? Like, do you love gingerbread, and do you like oatmeal with cinnamon? Like, what's your favorite? Tell us in the comments so we can learn from each other too. So before I forget, in my store, I just added this year. It's a freebie. I think, or it's $1. I can't remember. There are some sensory table routine rules. So if your kiddos are having issues, or it's just getting a little wild and crazy at the sensory table, which will happen as we start to get yucky weather and they can't go outside as much, and their routines are thrown off with the holidays, and they're not going to bed on time, or they're doing things they wouldn't normally do during the week. This is in my store. So it says, wash my hands. I also have one that says use hand sanitizer. And this doesn't necessarily mean like in order. So you can tell them how it works in your classroom. So you can say, like, we wash our hands after the sensory table or before, whatever you guys do. Again, there's a hand sanitizer one. Keep it in the bin, calm body, be a friend, have fun, and clean up spills. I always keep some dustpans, like little dollar store ones, underneath the sensory bin, so they can start helping clean up the classroom. Obviously, the teacher will be there to kind of help and do kind of like the big stuff, but they can at least attempt and kind of start some of those self-help skills. And then if you have littles, or if this is too much for your crew, there are ones you can like cut and paste. So we'll just have this at the top, and then you can put like 2 on there. Maybe you just want to say, keep it in the bin and calm body. Maybe those are the only 2 you want on there. So you pick what works for you and your kiddos this year. So make sure you grab this, because visual reminders are always helpful. So this is a fun sensory bin you can do around Thanksgiving or the holidays. So I just got a bag of cranberries, and then I have a tub of water, and then inside I have a liquid measuring cup. This one's from the dollar store. I have 2 different size funnels. I have a little ball ornament, so they can put the funnel in the ball ornament, and they can fill it up with water. I colored my water just so you guys could see it better on Facebook Live. You don't have to color your water. I just put a little bit of red food coloring in it. You can make it green, you can make it yellow, purple, whatever you want. And then anything clear will be good in here. So I just had like a clear jar. These are a little clear dish. Obviously, lots of plastic. You can also, if you have mint, you can put mint in here. You can also put like orange slices in here. Kind of whatever you want to put in here works. If you have pieces of Christmas tree, you can put those in here. And it is so much fun. So as you can tell, the cranberries will get stuck in the funnels, but again, that's just great problem solving. So as they are scooping up and filling up the funnel, if their funnel's not working, they're gonna look and see why, and then they have to figure out how to get the cranberry out. They also can pick out the cranberries and just put those in the little jars. They can, again, use the funnels to fill up the ornaments. There's, you can put these little jars in. You can put a big strainer in here. That would be really fun. Anything works in here. turkey basters are really fun. This one's from the dollar store. Just some great, great for fine motor, lots of squeezing. You can put sponges in here. Anything that you have that squeezes is perfect. Again, all of that will work on their hand strength, and they need hand strength in order to write and cut and lace and do all the things. So this is a really fun way. These little turkey basters or squeezers, whatever you have, throw them in there. You can put those in there. You can also put ladles in. It's really, really fun. They can scoop it up and pour it in. You could also put in like a big bowl. And then you could have like one that's like solid colored or clear. Basically, whatever you have, put it in there and try and see. And you can, what you can do at the, after you're done playing with these is strain out all the cranberries and kind of let them dry. And then you can probably use them. Sometimes I usually get 2 days out of them, 3 days out of them. So that way you're not, you know, if you have one that's kind of like, this one's kind of squishy, just take that one out. So if it's a little rotten, because that'll happen in the bag. You can also, if you have any of these scissor scoops, these are really fun. Let me scoop some of this out of the way to scoop up the berries. And they have little holes in them so the water will drain out and they can scoop them up. These are from Lakeshore. They can strain the water out, and then you can see we have all the little berries. And again, just some super fun for fine motor and hand strength with the turkey basters. Just a really fun and different sensory bin. And you can see, you guys, I don't have a ton of water in my sensory bin. I maybe have this much. You don't have to have your water overflowing to have a successful sensory bin. You can literally put anything in here. If you have like some taller water bottles, you can put those in. And again, they're just problem solving with these funnels. Which funnel fills up the water bottle the fastest? You can kind of ask some of those questions. Is it easier to fill up the short bottle or the tall bottle? And then there's so much problem solving, and you're really exploring volume as you are using the different size funnels and different sized jars or lids, jars or containers, whatever you want to call it. Somebody said, do you put a towel underneath? It depends on my group. Some years I do, some years I don't. So you know your kids, if they are gonna, if you know, can predict that they're gonna splash all over the place, put a towel underneath, like just underneath the bin. And then, or you can put some towels on the table, and that way they can kind of clean up the water on the floor as they go, just to keep you know, so we don't have kiddos falling. If you have any of these popsicle, these are those like, you put the little lids on them and they make like frozen popsicles. These are really fun too to fill up, because you can see the cranberries float to the top. But they're just really fun to fill up, and then you can put some in each one, just all the different ones. So again, this is a fun sensory bin that's really exploring volume. They're comparing sizes. My cranberry's stuck again. And then again, just lots and lots of fine motor strength. Oh, and I forgot to tell you too, if you put in different kinds of scoops, when they scoop it up, they're gonna have to turn their wrist to scoop it up and put it in the jar or cup, whatever you have. So that's really great for strengthening those wrists. And if you put in 2 different ones, they're gonna have to do some problem solving on how to scoop it to make get the most in the spoon and get the most in the cup. Because you can tell they're a little bit different. And again, I just literally found clear things in my kitchen or in my like sensory like tubs, and I put that in, and then always have funnels and some kind of scoops and some turkey basters. Again, these are dollar store. So fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And you can change it up every day too. Like if you have this in, like let's say one day you have like the funnels and the turkey basters in with the cups and the scoops, and maybe the next day you put in a whole bunch of the ball ornaments, and maybe you take out the big scoops and you put in a whole bunch of little jars. So just kind of mix up the tools in it each day, and it'll mix up kind of what's inside. And again, you don't have to use, if you don't want to use food, like you don't want to use these cranberries, put in like red and green colored pom-poms. That would be just as fun as this. And your pom-poms, if you lay them out, they will dry and you can use them another day. Are they gonna be perfect? No, but they will be fine and you can totally reuse them. So if you don't want to use cranberries, put pom-poms in, or you could also do, again, orange slices. You could also put in a little bit of like a smelly extract in here to kind of make it smell delicious, to add then that sense of smell. So yeah, and if you guys have any other ideas on what you could put in here besides cranberries or pom-poms, put it in the comments and share your fun ideas with us. Okay. Oh, or Christmas tree trimmings would be really fun too. Fake or real. Okay, let's hope I don't spill this, you guys. Okay. All right. I didn't spill it, but I have water all over my table. Okay, so moving right along. Oh, I didn't bring a napkin. Hold on. I guess I'll just use my pants to dry off my hands. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if you are gonna try that cranberry and water, or cranberry or pom-pom and water sensory bin. So let me know in the comments. Here is a fun one you can do for a gingerbread theme. So I just made like mini ones. You can totally make these gigantic. Oh, Sabrina said water beads would be fun in there with the water. That would be so much fun. And again, when you guys try these out in your classroom, be sure to post it in the Facebook group, the Pocket Up Preschool Facebook group, or tag me on Facebook or Instagram, because I love to see what you guys are doing in classrooms. So here's a fun gingerbread sensory bin. And again, I made it small, but you can totally make it gigantic for your kiddo or whatever size for your classroom, or you can make a whole bunch of small ones. But this one is just oatmeal, and I always put cinnamon in it so it smells delicious. And then I just have a small bowl, some measuring cups, 2 different sizes, again, so they can explore size. I have a small whisk and a small spoon. Again, small utensils for small hands, because if they're gigantic, they're gonna be really hard to hold for our little friends, and harder to manipulate and turn. Like those ladles are gonna be trickier than these. Those will require the bigger, if you're using like a big utensil rather than a little one, they're gonna be using more of this shoulder and arm strength, rather than if they're using these small ones, they're gonna be using more wrist and not as much shoulder. So just mix it all up and use a little bit of both. And then I found some gingerbread mini erasers. If you don't have mini erasers, you can put in just little pom-poms in here, like little colored pom-poms. I have just some measuring scoops. You don't have to put in the whole, you don't always have to put in like all 5 measuring scoops. Just put in 3 or 2 that are different sizes. I have 2 different size gingerbread cutouts, so they can measure and pretend to make gingerbread, and then they can fill up with the cookie cutters. And what my students typically did with the cookie cutters is they would either fill it up with the sensory filler, or whatever tiny treasure I had in there, they would take that and kind of fill that up. And when they're like getting these little tiny treasures out, they are using lots and lots of little pincher muscles. So lots and lots of fine motor. So that is why those are in there. And then, okay, so let's say you have this in your sensory table, but you wanna kind of like take it up a notch, or maybe the next week you wanna mix it up a little bit. So what you could do is, and since my sensory bin is really small, I'm just gonna take some of this out, just so I have room to show you guys. But you can still keep a lot of this stuff in here, but you just can kind of add something to it. So what you can add to it are, on my blog, my sensory bin that look with gingerbread had letters. You can put letters in here, but I wanted to give you guys a different idea because I already gave you guys that idea. So grab some shape buttons and put some shape buttons in your sensory bin. And you guys, these will just wash clean. They're just from Amazon. So you can put those in there. And then what you can do is grab a muffin tin, and I just taped the different shapes to the bottom. So this would literally be in my sensory bin if it was bigger, like it would be in my classroom. So what they can do is they can sort the buttons by shape as they play. So they can put all the circles and match the circles up. So now you kind of snuck in some sorting. And look, when they dump it out, they're still in there just because I used a little bit of tape. I know some people put different mini erasers in here if they have enough for that theme, and they can sort those mini erasers. But this way they're sorting by shape. Or if you make one each color, they can also sort by color. So they can put all the red ones together, all of the orange buttons together, all of the yellow buttons together, or the green buttons together. So it's 2 different ways to sort, and it'll be interesting to see which kid does what, or sorts which ways. So you could, again, still have this stuff in there because your sensory table would be bigger, but you could add this in to sneak in some sorting fun. Again, just tape, and these muffin tins are just from the dollar store. You can also use like the plastic ones and just cut the lid off. So that works as well. So that's a fun idea. Oh, and if you wanted to make it a small group, I have these color dice. If you don't have color dice, literally find any cube block and then color each side a different color. So they could also, if you wanted to do it for a small group, and I have totally done, you can do this for small group, and I have totally taken a group of 3 or 4 kiddos, and we literally go over to the sensory table. I take this stuff out, and I'll put some different stuff in, but you can have a dice, and they can roll the dice, and they can just roll it in and have it land in the bin, or just in the sensory bin, and you can say, oh, you got green, put 1 green in. And then the next person can roll the dice. So now you're adding in some social skills. That one got purple, and they then are now taking turns, and they're sorting by color for some extra math fun for a small group. And then you can just have this in the sensory table for open center time. So that is a fun idea. Oh, and then you can always, like these are in my gingerbread math and literacy centers, my theme pack. You can always take any card, and you can, again, put them in the sensory table or make a little mini sensory bin. You can put all the pieces in here, and then when they get them out, they have to, so they get out all the houses first, and then they would have to match them. O goes with O, P goes with P, and then they just have a little bit of extra sensory fun, and you can just sneak in some letter recognition. And again, you can use any, this works for any printable. So if you're doing a Christmas, you can grab a Christmas game, put it in the sensory table or your sensory bin, and then they can grab their piece from the sensory bin, and then they can play the game. So that is another fun option. Somebody saw in the comments, but it flew up so quick. Somebody said if you can't use food in your sensory bins, which I know some people just either they don't like to use food in their sensory bin, or maybe they can't. Somebody said you can use fish gravel. You can also use that, is it puffle or pluffle? It's kind of like a foamy, it kind of looks like aquarium rock, but it's fluffy. You could put that in here for that too. You could also get that pet bedding and like a brown, and which is it's actually the stuff that goes in the bottom of like a hamster cage. You can grab that from Walmart in brown, and then you could put that in there too if you can't use oatmeal. So, and then somebody said it would be fun to put the learning letters, lacing letters in here, and that would be another fun idea as well. That would be so fun. You guys know I love those lacing letters, which I actually have those for a different activity I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay, there's that activity. So another fun one I have is like a hot cocoa little sensory bin. So what I have are, I'll tell you what that is in a minute, 2 different, I just got some Starbucks cups. I have 2 different sizes. They wouldn't give me a medium one. It happens. So they gave me a small and a large, but that works too, as long as you have more than one size. And then I have a funnel, because I'll tell you what this is in a minute. I have a little ladle, I think this is like a coffee thing. You guys, I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what this is. But I think it's like a whiskey thing you like mix your coffee with. That's my guess. And then I have little pom-poms in here, which they can pretend to be marshmallows. I have some candy cane mini erasers. And if you don't have candy cane mini erasers, grab some of these straws and just cut them up into smaller pieces. And then those can be like little peppermint sticks. So if you don't have mini erasers, just use some cut up straws. And then I have a couple, again, different size scoops. And then I have a little funnel, because what this is it's actually colored sand. It looks, colored salt. It looks like sand, but it's actually salt. So I just took salt, put it in a baggie with some brown liquid watercolor, and I squish, 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 and mix it up, and then let it dry. And now we have what looks like hot cocoa, but it isn't. You could also use colored sand in here. And anytime I have either salt or sand, I always like to put a funnel in, because there's just a lot of problem solving happening when you use a funnel. And I often see a lot of teamwork when you put in funnels, because they'll try and fill up the top before it all comes out, and one kid will hold it, another kid will fill it. So there's just a lot of teamwork and social skills when you put funnels in too. I've just noticed that in my classroom. That's just how my kiddos have been. So this is a fun one. And then if you want to sneak in some more math, what you can do is I think this was like just in the Target dollar spot maybe, or in the little baking kits. This was in one, or I can't remember if that was in that, or if these were from Dollar Tree. I can't remember. So you could put these in there, and then what you can do is you can put little number, what's it called? You can put like small, like these are too big, put small magnet numbers in the bottom and put some tape on there, or use like a dot sticker, and then they can count out that many candy canes, and they can put that many in the bottom, or again, they can just fill, and that's okay too. Or if you want to make it into a game, you can have your kiddos come over to the sensory table, and they can roll a dice and put that many candy canes or little scoops in. And I wanted to give you some ideas about dice, because I know if you teach 3-year-olds, like counting up to 6 is really, really hard. So I have my typical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice, but I wanted to show you how I make 1, 2, 3 dice. So these were just some like wooden cubes I had. And then I wrote the numbers 1, 2, 3, and it's just 1, 2, 3. So we can start recognizing numerals up to 3. And then on this one, it just has dots up to 3. So like it has 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So they can roll the dice in the sensory table. And again, you can totally have this in your sensory table. The dice, the wooden dice or the cube dice or whatever won't get gross. And then, so like they got 2, so then they can put 1, 2 in, and then they can roll it again. And they got 1, so they can put 1 in. Oops, 1 in. Or they can also, if you have the cups in here, they can also make, I'm just taking this out just because my sensory table is small. So yours, you could have all of this in there. If they're bigger, 2, and then they could do 2 scoops. 1, 2. So it's kind of like they're a little barista making all the stuff. Or again, you could have the bigger foam dice, and they got 4, and then they could put 4 scoops in. So just another fun way to kind of sneak in learning or some like math at the sensory table. Yeah, dice are really fun in the sensory table. And then somebody asked, before I forget, where are these gingerbread letters from? It is from a Gingerbread Math and Literacy Centers pack. So somebody's asking also where I get my mini erasers from. So I've gotten my mini erasers from Target, Oriental Trading. Sometimes I get them from Amazon, or I get the Kinder Crate every month. So sometimes the mini erasers come in those. So kind of wherever I see them. Sometimes Michael's has them, at Walmart has them randomly. So whenever I see them, I kind of just grab them. So yeah. And again, if you don't have the candy cane erasers, just cut up the straw and then you have a whole bunch of little peppermint sticks. So that's a fun idea. Okay. And then let's do Hanukkah. So here is a fun Hanukkah bin. And again, I have a sensory bin for tons of different holidays, like Christmas around the world. So a lot of different types of Christmases that other cultures celebrate. And again, all of those are on my blog, and that's at the top of this post. Oh, let me grab something. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I almost dropped. I can't. Okay, so I'll show you some of them. So like this is actually in my Christmas Around the World pack, but all these sensory bins are on my blog. So there's like a Christmas one. Here's Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, Ramadan, Lunar New Year, St. Lucia, Las Posadas, Diwali. Hard to hold this because it's in a thing. So yeah, so all of those are on my blog. So whatever holiday you're learning about, you can make a sensory bin about that. And there's just some fun ideas on there for you. So this sensory bin, I actually colored a whole bunch. I just spilled them. A whole bunch of different beans. These are like those navy beans. And I just use acrylic paint to color them. And I use blue, silver, and white. I added some star mini erasers, some gelt. And I find a lot of my Hanukkah like dreidels and things at Michael's. They have a really good little like Hanukkah section every year. They usually have Hanukkah cookie cutters. So yeah, so check out Michael's for some Hanukkah goodies. And then I have just a container. And then I think this is like conditioner or something. And then I have a little star, little like cookie tray. And then I have some blue candles. And then I have these little scoops. These are actually formula scoops. So they can fill in the tray and then they can put the candles in, and I have little dreidels that they can spin and some gelt. So that's something fun. That would be like your typical sensory table. Now, if you wanted to make it, like take it up a notch and sneak in some learning, you could, and I know I see a lot of people do this in the Pocket of Preschool curriculum group. They make their stew, their counting stew, into a sensory table. So these are little gifts or presents. These are actually, they were supposed to be ornaments. I found them in the, you can see the little hook. These were ornaments. I found them like in the, like a mini tree decorating center, probably at Walmart or something. And the pack just had these colors, so like that's perfect. And then these are donuts, and there's little pieces of felt. And then I have my stew bowls. And my stew spoons. And then what kiddos do is they pick a stew card, and then instead of picking it off of like a circle tray, they can pick it out of the sensory bin. So they would get 3 dreidels, 1, 2, 3, 2 candles, and then 4 donuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they mix it up and sing the song, and then they can dump it back in, and then they can play again. And again, there's a whole bunch of them. These, the Hanukkah stew is in the holiday counting stew bundle if you wanted to grab that, or it's in the giant bundle as well. But I've seen somebody in the Pocket of Preschool Facebook group, almost for every stew that I have in that pack, I've seen people use it in the sensory table, and it is so much fun. So if your kids are kind of getting bored or that you want to mix it up a little bit, throw all of the ingredients in a big sensory table or mini sensory table like this. And now you have, you can use counting stews just kind of in a different way, and just you can sneak in more sensory because we all know as the weather gets colder and they can't go outside as much and families are busy and their routines are off, they're going to be a little crazier at school. It's just how it is. So that is another fun idea you can do. And in my Holiday Around the World pack, I have a ton of, I have in my Holiday Around the World center pack, Each holiday has 2 math centers, 2 literacy centers. Like, let me look, hold on. I saw somebody ask in the comments. So there is a book list for every holiday, a fact poster, vocabulary cards, a word bank. That one's in clip art. This is kind of like the theme the unit at a glance. There's writing paper. There's STEM cube cards and STEM Lego cards. There's Play-Doh cards, and again the sensory bin and an art activity. And then you also get, again, for each holiday. So like this is Hanukkah. So there are 2 literacy games, and then there's 2 math games. So if you do holidays around the world, grab my holidays around the world unit, and it's got everything you need. And like this puzzle's in there, this rhyming puzzle, wet net. You could put these in a sensory bin, and then they could pick them out. So that's just one of the games in the holiday around the world pack. So that's another fun one, now that I have beans all over the table. Okay, I think I got them. All right, so now here is a Christmas sensory bin. So this one is chickpeas that I colored red and green, and then I added some of those like mini bows, mini erasers I had, some little ornaments. There's big and little bells in there. Some measuring, there's a bigger spoon, some tweezers, and then I think I got these at the dollar store. Again, I just have all these like random containers. And then I have silicone cupcake molds. If your sensory table is bigger, you could have like a bigger, obviously it would be a little bit more spread out, and they could just mix and have fun. So this is just a regular sensory bin you could do. But if you wanted to sneak in some more math or some more literacy, I got you. So what you can do, you guys know I love these like foam things. So somebody asked, how do I color the chickpeas? So I take a bag of chickpeas, put it in a baggie, and then I add some acrylic paint, shake, 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 and then I lay it out to dry, and you are golden. And it makes gorgeous, gorgeous, and dropped them again, chickpeas. I usually buy my chickpeas at Target because they were like $1 a bag. It's the cheapest, I think, right now I can find them. So yeah, and if I do have instructions on how to dye like rice and chickpeas and beans all on my blog. So click that link at the top. Jennifer dropped in the link. Thank you, Jennifer. You're a rock star. So you guys know I love these foam cutouts for so many things. So you can totally use them in the sensory table. So I'm going to kind of turn it to the side. So you could put numbers on these. And what they could do, I'm just going to scoot that to the side. They could use the tweezers, and they could decorate the tree. So this one might have 3. There's little pom-poms in there too. So they could decorate it and put 3 on the 3 tree. We're not gonna do 10, but like for 5, they could put 5 things on. So that way that one has 5. And then like for 7, they could put 7. And again, if you are kinder, you can put math problems on here, like some simple math, like 2 + 2, and they can do the addition problem using the items in the sensory bin. And then if you have itty bitties, you can put dots on them. So instead of, you could write the number 3, but then put 3 dots, and then they would kind of do like one-to-one correspondence. Here, I'll show you on this guy what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you have littles, you could put like a 3 on the trunk, and then you could put 3 ornaments on there. 1, 2, 3. And then they could match. 1, 2, 3. So again, super easy to differentiate with these little trees. You could do, again, math problems or like addition problems. You could do numbers. You could do kind of more one-to-one correspondence and just kind of matching. I love these little foam things. Or you could get, if you have a tray, you could grab a dice. These I got at the dollar store. I think they have them every year. This is the old one, but you could roll the dice, and they could put one thing in their tree. And then they could roll the dice again, and then they could put 3 things in their tree. So again, just another fun way to use the sensory table. And I have a literacy way. And I know somebody earlier talked about these learning resources. These are actually the Lakeshore ones, but they're almost identical. These are the lacing beads, but I don't hardly ever use them for lacing. You could put these in here too. Sprinkle those in. If you have the letters in here though, I probably wouldn't put as many of the big things in here just because it would be kind of overwhelming to find them. So maybe just not as much of the big stuff in there. And what you could do is on the foam, you could put letters and they would have to pick a letter out and match the letters. Or you could use magnet letters with this and they could use like a magnet one and try and find it. So like here's D, and they would just have to match it on their tree. And again, just using sensory just for different purposes in your classroom. And again, these are just the learning resources, or Lakeshore has them. That's just the letter beads. So many fun ways to use these trees. And I know sometimes if you can't find the tree, sometimes they have a wreath. I think this was from like a decorating kit. You could also put numbers on the wreath. You could put the letters on the wreath. So whatever foamies you can find, or stockings, if you find the like foam stockings or foam stars, grab them because you can use these with your sensory bins or so many other just learning things, excuse me. And someone asked, do I have a Christmas counting stew? Yes, in the holiday set there is a Christmas counting stew and there is a Hanukkah counting stew for the Christmas season. So yeah, yes there is, and it's so fun. In my Christmas Math and Literacy Center pack, there are these lights. You could also put these in the sensory table, and maybe you want your kiddos to line them up in ABC order or in like a pocket chart. Maybe you want them to match the letters, like uppercase with lowercase. We're just gonna pretend these match, so they could find like B and B, and then they would find that match. So they could do that too, or you could have them string them on a long line and like clip the clothespins, the light letters up, or they could make words with them. So many things. These Christmas light letters are in my Christmas center pack. So, but you can use these too, whichever you want to do. So that's the Christmas idea I have for you. And then I have a Kwanzaa idea too. So here is my Kwanzaa sensory bin. So this one I like to kind of mix up sometimes my sensory bin fillers. So this one has red and green rice, and then I added some black beans just to have different textures. I think for the Halloween stew I had like rice and like I think it was like those green peas, like split peas. So again, just so fun just to kind of mix it up and just have a couple different textures together. And then I had some little wooden bowls, so I put those in there, little wooden spoons so they can fill them up. And then I had these little wooden tweezers so they can take the fruit and mix it. Oh, this is a vegetable, sorry. Fruit or vegetable, and put it in. These are actually math counters. Here are the fruits. There's, I think, like an apple in it and a blueberry in it too. The corn are vegetable counters, which I can't find anywhere anymore. But if you see them, these are just like the math counters, like, you know, like the cars and the insects. There's a fruit and a veggies one. So that's just fun to put in there too. Now, if you want to, again, sneak in more literacy, what you can do is you can put in some magnet letters. Put just some in. And then you can grab a clipboard, like a small clipboard. I love using small clipboards in my classroom because kids just think they're like powerful and important when they use clipboards. And I like the little ones just because, again, little hands, little bodies, it's easier for them to manage. So when I was teaching, I think it was like 3 years ago, a kiddo did this. So I had letters in the sensory table, magnet letters. And what they did was, they're so smart, they're sometimes smarter than me. They took the magnet letter and it stuck to the top. Because what they had to do was they picked out the letter and then they would write it. But it's kind of hard to have this kind of sliding on your page and write the letter. But again, they're smarter than me and they figured out that the letter sticks to the top. So they would pick the letter, stick it to the top, and then write the letter, and then put it back in. And they could mix it up. And then they could pick a different letter, stick it to the top, and write it, and put it in, and mix it up. It's so, so much fun. So that's one idea you could do. You could also put, I love my little buckets. You can put your little buckets in the corner, or if you have like a magnet board behind it, that would be good too. You can, that way they can put their letters on the magnet board. And I don't have my cookie sheet. Okay, we're just gonna pretend this is a cookie sheet. So I would have the cookie sheet in the back, and what they would do is they would pick out a card, and I have magnets on the back, and they would try and find the letters to make their friend's name. And so they would have to look and look and look and find the letters to make their name. And it's so fun. It's a fun way for them to learn letters, practice their friends' names. And you guys know anything that is about them or their friends, they're all about, because they are so egocentric still. So put a cookie sheet in the back, put your name cards, put a little magnet on them, and plop it on there, and they can make names with these. You can also do this with sight words. Put your sight words in a little bucket with a magnet on the back, and then they can, I like it because they have like kind of somewhere to put it. So when they have the magnet cookie pan here, they put the card on, and then they can find the letters, and they can kind of like show and keep track of how many they've done. So that's also really, really fun. And then in my Holidays Around the World pack, one of the Kwanzaa centers is a letter hide and seek. So if you didn't have these letters in here, I'm just take them out real quick. Probably shouldn't have thrown so many in there. So you got all your goodies in there, and then you can take the little letter cards and you can put them all in the sensory bin. We're just gonna pretend I have them all in there. And here's the little header, because sometimes I know people like to do this game in a pocket chart. And what you do, it comes with these little recording pages, and what they do is they pick a card out, and then they have to mark. Sorry, for the letter hide and seek, if you're doing it this way, you want to put a sticker on the back of like one of the cards, so that way that's how they know it's like the special one. So yeah, so like that's D, and then X, put an X on the D, and there is a lowercase and an uppercase set of letter cards and set of recording pages. I just happened to pick out ones that don't match, but you can also have the letter cards match. So you could do lowercase with lowercase, you could do uppercase cards with uppercase recording page, or you can mix and match. So like they have the lowercase cards and they have to put them on there. So then they would put an X on the D because there's nothing, it's not on the D. And then they would put it either back in or in like the little bowl or cup or something you have, like a discard pile. So again, just another fun way to kind of mix it up, add some sensory into their play, into their learning games, just to make it fun. Somebody asked in the comments if I keep my sensory bin fillers, and I absolutely do. I always have, unless there's some, unless somebody's like super sick and sneezes in the sensory table, then I would pitch it. Like I keep these year after year, so like I have, and I keep them in baggies or like some small like food containers. Like my kids love cheese balls, so I have a whole bunch of cheese ball containers. So I put those, a lot of it in the cheese ball containers, or you can just put them in baggies. There are baggies that come in like 3 gallons, and those are perfect to put sensory fillers in. So yeah, that's how I have so many different ones, is because I do keep the sensory fillers together and use them year after year over and over again. Because also when you put them away, I may not use them again for months or until the next year, and then all the germs will die. So, so yeah. So these bins, some of these are from Target, and some of these are from Lakeshore. They're actually paper sorting trays, but I love using these for little mini sensory bins. I know Target on their website has some. I know they usually have like sets of maybe like blue or black or white, or just some like random colors on their website. Usually you can order them in like packs of 5. Lakeshore has them as well in like rainbow colors, and they also have like a neon set of bins. So yeah, so fun. And then I saw somebody ask like where I get a lot of my stuff. So I used to do Pampered Chef forever ago when I was younger. So these are actually Pampered Chef. But most of my stuff is typically from the dollar store or like clearance, like summer clearance. And I just have literally a drawer with measuring cups and scoops and a ton of utensils. And then I have a big bin of like plastic containers, like these, and like empty bottles of just different shapes and sizes. I keep a bin of those that I can use for sensory play. And then I have another bin, which I will, I'll put the link in the comments, because I have a link that shows you kind of how I organize everything. I have another bin of like things like funnels, like all the, I guess like tools. So I have a bucket of like empty bottles, and then just all different shapes and sizes and little containers. And then I have another bucket or bin, whatever, of like the tools, like the shovels and funnels and all of that stuff, like rakes. So all of that stuff I have in a bin, and then I have utensils and measuring cups in a drawer. So, and then the bowls obviously are just like in a giant stack. So, all right. So somebody says, where did I get my fruit from? The fruit counters are from Amazon. I will put the link at the bottom. I want to say these are learning resources. I think Lakeshore has some too. And again, I do have a Lakeshore coupon for you guys. So I'll put that at the bottom too if you wanted to grab anything from there. And somebody says, Elaine says, I love how your bins match your themes. Me too. I don't know, it just kind of makes me happy. I love colors and bright things. So that's why I always have all the things to match. And then, these little bins, I get them from the Dollar Tree. They come in like sets of anywhere from 2 to 4, I think. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the this Facebook Live all about some holiday sensory bins. If you guys do these in your classroom, please tag me on social or share it in the Pocket of Preschool Facebook group. I love seeing it there. If you want some sensory bin ideas for other holidays besides like Kwanzaa, the ones I showed tonight, again, those are on my blog. The link's at the top of that post. Plus, I have another post that I think it has like an insane amount of sensory bins, like 40 sensory bins for like all the themes that you can do anytime during the year, and like fall and fairy tales and all the things. I love sensory bins. They're so much fun. So I have tons of blog posts with ideas for you guys. And again, don't forget to grab this in my store, the sensory table chart. I hope you guys have an amazing night, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the week. I will talk to you guys later.